It was the 8th of June, 1916. The armed merchant cruiser SS Principe Umberto sailed through the Adriatic Sea with over 2,600 on board. Off her side, dead wake was spotted. Yard number 13, also known as SS Principe Umberto, was an Italian passenger cargo ship built in 1908 by the Cantieri Navali del Terreno Riuniti Shipbuilding Company in Palermo, Italy, for Navigazione Generale Italiana. She was completed sometime in April of 1909, her port of registry being Genova. She was 145.1 meters or 476 feet 1 inch long between perpendiculars, had a beam of 16.3 meters or 53 feet 6 inches, and had a gross registered tonnage of 7,838. Her power plant consisted of 2 quadruple expansion steam engines which could produce enough power to give her a top speed of around 16 knots. Not really much is known about her roots and early life other than the fact the company which owned her, Navigazione Generale Italiana, ran a passenger service in North and South America and had ships which sailed to and from ports in the Black and Mediterranean seas. On the 28th of June, 1914, the Archduke of Austria-Hungary, Franz Ferdinand, and his wife Sophie were on their way to open the new State Museum in Sarajevo. Mere hours ago, Nedeljko Gabrinovic had tried to assassinate the couple by throwing a bomb at their car, missing, and instead blasting one of the escort vehicles apart. The driver had just taken a wrong turn and stopped at a street corner to back up. At that moment, 19-year-old to-be assassin Gavrilo Princip ran up and fired 2 shots from his FN 1910 semi-automatic handgun. One of them struck Franz in the jugular vein of the neck, whilst the other hit Sophie in the abdomen. They both would succumb to their injuries. Gavrilo Princip was arrested immediately after the incident, and Nedeljko Gabrinovic was caught trying to flee. The next day, an outraged Austro-Hungary declared martial law. On the 23rd of July, they sent Serbia an ultimatum. Serbia did not accept their terms. On the 28th of July, Austro-Hungary declared war on Serbia. World War I, the Great War, began. Sometime later, SS Principe Umberto was requisitioned as an armed merchant cruiser by the Regia Marina. I'd assume she did this job well. On the 8th of June, 1916, Principe Umberto was sailing through the Adriatic Sea off Cape Linguetta, which is now the Cape of Ujiez, with over 2,600 men of the 55th Infantry Regiment. She and another ship, the Ravenna, were under the escort of the scout cruiser Libya and 4 destroyers of the Regia Marina. They were on their way back to Italy. Off her port side, an Austro-Hungarian U-boat lurks. U-boat U-5 under the command of Friedrich Schlosser, ready to fire. Schlosser gave the order to fire and the U-boat launched out a torpedo. It soared across the sea, the dead wake approaching the Principe Umberto rapidly. The torpedo struck the Principe Umberto dead center on her port side. Quickly, she lost steam pressure, plunging the ship into darkness. Not long after, she suffered massive structural failure and broke in 2. There were likely explosions as a result of cold water touching hot boilers. She sank quickly and took between 1,750 and 1,926 people with her to the depths. I'd assume that the warships would try and pick up survivors. U-5 slipped away, the Principe Umberto being her last victim. In 1917, U-5 was conducting a training cruise when on the 16th of May she struck a mine with her stern whilst at a depth of 36 meters, killing 6 of the 19 men aboard. She was raised 4 days later from the 20th until the 24th. She then underwent a refit, receiving a larger deck gun and a new conning tower. The refit was completed in November and she was put back into service. She did not see any more success in the war. When the war ended on the 11th of November, she was transferred to Venice. The British military commissions inspected her and she was later ceded to Italy as a war reparation. In 1920 she was scrapped. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I hope this video sheds light on the real worst sinking of the Great War in terms of lives lost. I made it to honor those lost on that day on land and sea. I have more videos on the way, so stay tuned. Until then, keep the wind in your sails and the steam in your boilers. Cheers!